My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey folks, welcome back. Today our special guest zooming in from beautiful Florida, a young real estate entrepreneur who's done an amazing job in his 26 young years. At this point, he's built up a portfolio of over 48 units, over $8 million of real estate. When most people haven't even figured out what the heck real estate investing is, he's been doing this for a while now. So Morgan Ehrenzeller, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right. So 26, you've done a lot. What was that initial spark that got you interested in real estate? Do you remember?
The initial spark that really got me into real estate was, I created a software company when I was younger, and I made a decent amount of money with it. And at a young age, I quickly realized that every person that I knew that was rich or wealthy was involved in real estate in some way, shape, or form. So at the tender age of 17, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to push myself off the cliff. I bought a duplex. I'll figure it out as I go.
And that's so no training, no books, no nothing. You just thought real estate where it's at. I'll buy me some.
Yeah, so granted, my dad's a carpenter by trade. My grandfather was a carpenter, so I've had the pleasure of always holding the flashlight since I was about 9 years old. So from the aspect of the houses from the inside out, I know them very well. I'm very thankful for that, that upcoming, because it's very useful in what I do
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But as far as learning the buildings from the outside in on the business side, completely no.
Well, that is fascinating going from, well, first of all, the fact that you made a go of it at 17 and created your own software and sold the company and created some cash and bought real estate. That's awesome. Just out of curiosity, what kind of software was it?
So businesses use it for efficiencies, for monitoring employees, for productivity, and then parents use it for personal computers.
Spyware. Sounds like it's spyware. Is that what I'm hearing?
Some could say that, but it's yeah, businesses use it to monitor employees for efficiencies,
Yeah.
and parents use it to monitor their children, make sure that they aren't doing anything that they're not supposed to be
Not
doing.
doing anything nasty online. Well, that sounds like a very valuable software. Very cool. All right. Another question that kind of comes around that pops into my mind, Morgan, is what have been some of the major transferable skills you've taken from that young Morgan creating software and selling software to Morgan, who's now a real estate entrepreneur? You talked about, growing up in the family and holding flashlights and swinging hammers and all that kind of good stuff. But what have been some of those transferable skills from your initial entrepreneurial journey that you brought over to real estate investing?
That's a great question. So starting out in that, I mean, the software, I've always was a young hustler. I've had multiple different side gigs. I did arbitrage with Best Buy, buying stuff through employee accounts for a cheaper price, flipping it on eBay. At 10 years old, my aunt lived in Virginia. She would buy me Yankee candles at a big discount and bring them up to Pennsylvania, and I was flipping candles. So I always was an entrepreneur at heart. Ever
Wheeler
since.
dealer.
Yes, so definitely the hustle mentality has definitely stuck with me. But now that I'm in a position, it's like, okay, I need to let the hustler die and the CEO come to life and start developing systems, processes, and leveraging people as well. So that's one of the things that, I took with me the hustle, but now I'm trying to break out of that.
Yeah, not be a one-man show anymore.
Exactly.
Got it. So we were talking a little bit before I hit record, and it sounds like you do a variety of things with real estate investing. And I know you're really getting into the multifamily space. That's what you want to focus on. But it also sounds like you do single family homes and some renovation flip type stuff as well. So maybe walk us through, what does your real estate investing business look like these days, Morgan?
Sure. So initially, I started out in a lot of the, like you mentioned, single families, duplexes, stuff like that. And I bought a duplex when I was 17, and then my last semester of college, I went to a foreclosure auction, bought another single family, picked it up for 10K. Did a burr on that, it was worth
I'm
126.
I'm up here in Canada. Nobody can even fathom the idea of buying a property for 10K. But yes, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
average, well, keep in mind the average house or the average home in this neighborhood is probably about 150,000. So by all means, it wasn't normal,
Yeah.
so to say. But I ended up doing that right after college. I had some money left over, bought about 10, 15 properties, smaller stuff, ran out of money. Okay, what do I do now? Okay, now I'm trying to get loans. I'm 23 years old. I don't have 3 years tax returns. I don't have 3 years job history. Banks are shutting me down. No,
Yeah.
we're not giving this young 20-year-old hundreds of thousands of dollars to go play with real estate. They didn't believe I had what I had even at that time. They went to see an SREO schedule. So it's like, man, how do I keep scaling as an entrepreneur? So I went to a real estate event and a good friend of mine, Jake Arnold, introduced me to creative finance.
Mhm.
And that forever changed the trajectory of my real estate career. So after about 10, 15, I really pivoted towards creative finance deals. Got into a lot of stuff with that, low barrier to entry, high equity on the tail end. So did that for a good year and a half, made a couple million in equity, building up that side of stuff, and now really I'm focusing on bigger stuff. Like multifamily, I have some fives, I have some sixes, I have some retail stuff. I just got an LOI accepted on a 100 unit in Jackson, Mississippi. About 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, I joined another fund as a GP. Some things we're doing there. We got about 3 million in car washes this month to close, and our 3 million in self-storage. We have about 38 houses going up around the Lake of Ozarks right now. And we got some other stuff in the mix. So definitely in the past 3 months, the net has been widening, so to say.
Is that because you've joined this group and there's a bunch of you actively doing a number of different deals as part of this little mini conglomerate, or what would you say is going on there? Because you
No,
unpacked a lot of
so
stuff in a short period of time there. I already forgot some of the earlier stuff you were mentioning.
yeah, so I just joined that fund literally like 2, 3 weeks ago.
So when you say I just joined this fund, what does that mean, Morgan?
I joined as a general partner. So for those who aren't familiar with funds, real estate investment funds, you have general partners and you have limited partners. General partners are the guys who run the show, and you have limited partners who are the investors who invest in the deals.
And how
Basically,
many general partners are there with this fund?
with this one, there's three.
Okay, so yourself, two other guys. What's your specialty that you're bringing to the table?
What am I doing for the table? Underwriting as well as capital raising and deals.
Okay,
So example, I just locked in a 100 unit in Mississippi, 450K. We're moving that into this fund.
nice, 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 nice. So on the capital raising side of things, maybe walk me through that, because you're talking about early on you had some struggles with the banks taking you seriously because you're so young and you didn't have the tax returns and all that stuff, and these stodgy old bankers couldn't believe that you've done what you've done already. So walk me through how the capital raising side of things has unfolded for you.
Yeah, that's a great point. So really, I started raising capital once I ran out of money and started switching to creative finance. I ran out of money, and with the creative finance as well, I'm like, okay, how do I keep scaling? And pretty much everything that I was researching kept leading me back to capital,
Mhm.
capital, capital, capital. And I recognize that, there's really three things that you need to make real estate work. You need deal flow, you need someone for operations, and you need capital. You
Mhm.
need all three of them, otherwise the whole stack's falling, or you can't do it. So I have the deal flow, I have the experience in operations. What am I missing? I'm missing capital. So what do I do as a young 20-year-old whose friends just graduated and are all getting professional jobs, who don't have wives, don't have kids, and can take bigger risks right now at this certain point in time in their life? I go to all my friends and say, hey, listen, you guys are seeing what I'm doing now. You guys want to be a part of it. I'll find the deal. I'll run operations. I'll do all the sweat equity. You provide the capital for the down payment and the renovations. Once we get it done, we'll refinance and we'll get you all that capital back out in 6 months, 8 months maybe. And you'll be paid out, your initial, everything you put in, and then we'll be 50-50 partners and we'll continue to scale the business. So that's what it looked like early on, maybe one partners, maybe two partners. I have
Yeah.
a bunch of different
So
partners.
small little joint venture type deals, correct? Yeah.
Exactly. And then really we just started diving into the fund world probably the past 12 months from a scalability. Just because everyone here is 90% of millionaires are made through real estate, but 90% of billionaires, B with a B, are made through private equity, and that's through raising money. So that's really when I started trying to unlock the gates of private equity and really raising capital at scale.
Very cool. Well, I love that. That's you're the first guy I've talked to, Morgan, that young guy that tapped into his young friends as investor partners right out of the gate. A lot of people in your situation tapped into private capital, but they actually went for their friends' parents because most of their friends were broke and didn't have much money. But sounds like you had some friends, like you say, they're young, they're graduated, now they got decent jobs, they're making some money, they're willing to take those risks. Very cool. Very, very cool. So what's been your learning curve from going from friends and family for doing joint venture deals? Now you're in the fund world. Now you're raising capital at scale. What have you learned about that?
That's a great question. Uh, what I've learned is you have to continually be putting your footprint out there, and you have
Yeah.
to continually be providing value. The most successful people in this game, they give a lot, and they give a lot to a lot of people. So continuing to provide value to people, free value. I always take calls with people if they have questions. I don't charge for my time if I'm free. So continuing to always provide value to people, and as well as starting to build up a ton of contact lists for marketing funnels and stuff like that. So really, like I mentioned earlier, you gotta let the solopreneur die and the CEO come to life. I would say is the big takeaway.
Yeah. Very cool. So with your fund, is it a fund that everybody and anybody can invest in, or is it something that has to be accredited investors, sophisticated investors? What does your fund look like?
So we have a few. I can't really talk on the one too much
Mhm.
because it's for friends and family.
Mhm.
But the other one, it is for accredited investors. So I can talk about that one publicly. But yeah, that one's for accredited investors. For those who don't know what accredited investor is, you have to be making at least 200K a year, $1 million net worth, excluding your primary residence.
Mhm.
So generally stuff like that, minimum check size, we're really looking for 100K minimum for something like that.
Very cool. And what have you found to be the most effective way to attract these kind of accredited investors?
I prefer inbound marketing versus outbound.
Yeah.
I'm an attractor, not a chaser.
Mhm. And what works best for you for attracting?
Providing value,
Yeah.
providing value to a lot of people at scale.
On social media type thing, that's what you found is working best? So
Yeah, so
video type stuff, posting, that sort of thing?
yeah, and generally, I mean, in any business at the very beginning, most businesses struggle with about 4 or 5 key things. That's their brand awareness, their third-party validation, their story. They don't know how to craft a story and portray their story. Storytelling is huge, and their messaging.
Mhm.
So generally, when you're first starting out in a business, I can, almost 95, 98% of people are going to experience those challenges and triumphs. So recognizing that and analyzing your weak falls and really attacking them is definitely key.
Very cool. Well, you got lots on the go. What are your plans for the next year or so?
For the next year or so, I want to scale up to 100 million assets under management. I think that would be a good goal of mine. Some other stuff outside of business. I would like to retire my parents, have them, they never have to work again, as well as everyone I care about. My girlfriend, eventually her parents, if the timing is there, and so forth. Provide value. Start a couple of real estate chapters in different states. Start hosting events. Do more speaking events. Things like that.
Very cool. I love it. Awesome. Morgan, if people want to connect with you and find out more, what should they do?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me on social media, Morgan Ehrenzeller, or shoot me an email, morgan@ehrenzellercapital.com.
Perfect. All right, my friend. Congratulations on what you've done and keep up the good work.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.